Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We are here today to talk about the future of visual progress tracking in construction. My name is Alex Cohen, and I'm the product manager for the progress tracking team within Autodesk.
Hi, and my name is Clifton Cole, Director of Virtual Design Construction at the Penta Building Group.
A couple of things of what you can expect to leave here today with. We're going to start to just give an overview of just some of the pain points and an overview of what is progress tracking in construction today. We're then going to talk about progress tracking in Autodesk, what it enables and how it can help you and your teams be more productive in the workplace. And then Cliff's going to talk in more detail about how they're using progress tracking on some of their live projects today in the field. And finally, we're going to conclude with talking about where we're going next and what is the sort of future vision of this tool and what it will enable for you. So to start, we all know that construction is incredibly complex, and there are many processes and procedures that need to happen seamlessly in order for any project to be a success. A year or so ago, we went on a journey of different site visits to visit you and all of your teams on these different construction sites to learn about what are your biggest problems and unmet needs. I now want you to all imagine being able to visually see what is the progress of work happening on your job site at any moment in time. We know that progress tracking, the biggest point and why you need it in general, is to keep your project on schedule and under budget. There are many different types of progress tracking as well of what we've heard, things such as schedule completion, being able to track your labor and see your timesheets, doing pull planning, and then specifically installation and material tracking. We also know that accurate progress tracking has required a lot of effort. It's an incredibly manual and time-sensitive process. Ways that we've seen you all use progress tracking today are via spreadsheet and very detailed data and spreadsheet information, using Bluebeam to manually mark up your different markups on third-party softwares, using a whiteboard and individually writing the status of your progress every day on the job site, or even just still using paper and large physical blueprints and highlighting is other ways we've seen progress being done today. Now we're going to talk about what does progress tracking look like within Autodesk Build today. As we mentioned earlier, there are many different types of progress tracking that we've heard from all of you. What we're focused on within the current implementation of progress tracking is on the installation step. So you can track installation directly and visually on your sheets, which looks like a % complete or quantity of different materials installed. Examples that we've heard from all of you is how much concrete has been poured, what % of framing is up on the second floor, how much MEP has been roughed in, or how much drywall is hung on the first floor. We also see different numbers and commissioning use cases, such as how many cabinets were installed for a given location. From a feature perspective, here is a little bit of an overview of what we are enabling and how we're doing that today. We broke it up into a couple of different types and different sections. The first is complete customization of what you want to track, being able to specifically define what are the things you want to track and how do you track those specific things. We call those objects and activities. You're also able to color coordinate and change the ordering and sequencing of all these different activities. Next is the visualization piece. So here you can define where are those objects on your sheets. You create different lines, polygons, polytools, circles, squares directly on your sheet in order to represent the work in a familiar and visual way of what your crews are used to. Next is updating the progress in the field. This is what we call our core tracking experience. This is something that you can do by a single swipe in the field on any of your mobile tablets or phones, and being able to see that progress get updated immediately in the back office and on web. We also want to enable and encourage you to leverage the reporting dashboard to quickly view construction progress. Here you can keep an eye on your schedule by tracking the aggregated work completed as a percentage and easily compare your productivity week after week. This is also available in an export of all your progress data tracking data into an Excel file. What we've heard and what we encourage you to do is to use this information to further analyze the installation times of each step, so you better understand the estimate pricing and schedule for your future projects. What that enables and what we want to encourage you to do both in the short term and long term. In the short term, we hope it'll save your project and your team time that you've currently been using all these manual processes, where we're enabling you to do quick and easy tracking directly on your sheets that you're already using today. Keep your team members always up to date with the exact status of work happening on your job site, and improve your collaboration between your field and your back office. At the end of the day, we hope that you'll get this accurate progress data you can use and share with other team stakeholders as well. In the future, we want to be able to visualize this entire workflow at any moment in time, at any part of the project lifecycle, which also includes seamless end-to-end productivity tracking from pre-construction all the way through to handover. And then finally, being able to really dive into this accuracy space, so you really have a solid trust and understanding that the data that you have in your hands is what's actually happening on site. Now we're going to talk about what we've seen with our current implementation and how those uses of progress tracking work today. The first use case is all around product production tracking. This also goes back to there's many different uses, and what product production tracking looks like, it's different from customer to customer. Specifically for subcontractors, we've heard this becomes more and more useful. Our users and you all want to calculate productivity from your data. This requires understanding your labor usage, your equipment, the time for each installation, and always knowing what's happening on the job site at any point in time. This enables you and your teams to work better and more effectively on tracking and having visibility into this information at all times. The use case for production tracking, as we're defining it here, is being able to take your pre-construction data and compare it to what's happening right now on the job site. Quickly understand the status of your work, and we have endless use cases to be able to do that. Things that we've seen, such as HVAC, AV displays, electrical use cases, drywall, and concrete, to name a few. This allows you to take your pre-construction and then map it to really understand how much of something has been done for that moment in time. The next use case is all around phase work tracking. This is more useful for general contractors from what we've seen. This really dives into understanding the phases of work, or by a location or a specific trade. What you're able to do here is to track the work to understand what is going on site at all times in a level and detail that is most relevant and useful to you and your teams. We've also seen commissioning as another large use case, where you're tracking work to understand the sequencing of these different work for the trades and collecting the work that you need for the moment in time. As you can see in the example, you can understand of the different sub-trades, what is the status of work and what has been completed and what do you have left to do. Now I'm going to turn it over to Cliff to talk about more details and live use cases of these different implementations.
Thanks, Alex. Before I get started on the case studies, I would like to tell you a little bit about the Penta Building Group. Penta was established in 2000 here locally in Las Vegas, Nevada. And over the years, we expanded into the regions of Southern California and Phoenix, Arizona. We are a general contractor that has self-performed capabilities. But today's case studies will focus on mostly on our general contracting side. We are right now it's about 200 employees and are working on several market sectors, including hospitality, gaming, healthcare, education, and public works. So originally, how we did progress tracking, it was, as Alex showed earlier, very archaic, I guess is the way to put it. We would track it on spreadsheets, through photos, note cards, and other various different ways that made it difficult to be able to effectively communicate how the progress of the job was going. when I had the opportunity to team up with Alex and her team, it was great to be able to see a more collaborative digital process of being able to track the progress in the field. So the first project we have here is a confidential project. It's a new construction in California of an event center. It has the 18th month schedule. It originally was started pre-pandemic. Due to the pandemic, we were on a work stoppage for about 2 months. During that time, there was some design changes and we ran into some procurement issues for some specific material. So jumping into it, we decided as a group to sit down and go through what areas do we want to focus on tracking to be able to really effectively track and utilize this, the application. So we focused on 2 specific areas. One was the door framing hardware, and this specifically, we're looking at the door and framings that had electrical components tied to it. Those were delayed, and we were concerned about making sure we were able to hit the scheduled dates that we had set out based on the new restart of the project. So the team sat down together and working with our project engineering staff, we were able to go through and set up all the areas that we wanted to be able to track from feedback from our trade partners and our supervision. On the side, you can hear a lot of the doors were different phases of the project. This is a screenshot from actually the mobile device that we were able to use from one of our superintendents. The feedback we got from the field professionals was that it was very easy to use, very easy to update and be able to see where things were at. This all tremendously helped with communication, better planning. We were also able to effectively communicate to the our owner the status of progress in this particular area. So the second area that we looked at tracking was the electrical installation. We wanted to focus specifically on areas where it impacted the theatrical workflow and also our commissioning and fire life safety. So we were tracking feeder installation, wire pull, and also getting our panels energized. As you can see here, here's a screenshot on the right-hand side of our single line diagram. We were able to take and highlight these areas. So again, with our engineering team members. And on the left-hand side is our superintendent, our supervision staff was able to update these areas out in the field on their mobile device in an easy workflow to where they could just change the status of the different areas that we preset out in the beginning of the installation of these areas. And again, the benefit of it became to where it was improved communication throughout the entire job site between the trade partners and ourselves. And it was also easy able to update our schedules, which was talked to in the OAC meetings with our client and the design team to make sure we were tracking in the right locations for installation to be able to start commissioning on the project. Here's just a quick screenshot of the progress track of the dashboard, view that we utilized in our meetings to be able to show the progress of where things were heading. This was a quick and easy view that everybody can quickly understand where things stood at and was able to provide our teams, our scheduling teams information to be able to update schedules accordingly. So the second case study we want to talk to briefly is the Fremont Hotel and Construction located in downtown Las Vegas. This was a renovation of all of the hotel rooms. So some quick fun facts about the Fremont Hotel. It was originally built in 1956. At the time, it was the tallest building in the state of Nevada. Over the years, there were several renovations and expansions, and now they currently have 477 hotel rooms on the project. This was an 11th month schedule, and it was a renovation of all 477 rooms. This was planned to start pre-pandemic as well, but was delayed several months as the client navigated through how they want to proceed with the project. Fortunately, we were able to move forward and start construction. Again, though, we ran into some procurement issues due to the pandemic. And so we had to really be diligent about how we're going to sequence the work. And so sitting down with the project team, we went through and decided we wanted to be able to track all the installation for the project to be able to get a good flow once we got started. We had to take a phased approach because the hotel was an active property still, and we couldn't take down all the rooms all at once. So we were able to do a phased approach to where we took certain levels of the hotel and to be able to turn them back over to the client once we were finished. So what you see here is as overall tracking of the completion of the room and specifically also the carpet and base, which was a owner furnished item, and it was one that we wanted to make sure that we were able to track to get that as the final turnover to the client, so they can bring back in their furniture and other material to get the room back online. Right here, again, we sat down with the product team to discuss this in detail on how we wanted to track this and how we wanted to mark up the drawings to show these items. And the field teams were actively engaged in that process as well. Once we were that way, we got this set up, the field professionals were able to quickly update these items in the field once the room was complete. And their feedback was, again, tremendously that it was easy to update and sequence through the different phases of the progress tracking. So overall, I think we've had some tremendous success and found tremendous value in the digital workflow of progress tracking. We look forward to seeing a lot of the new features that Alex and her team are working on, and to be able to continue to provide feedback and work together as we maximize the use of progress tracking. Now I turn it back over to Alex.
Thank you, Cliff. We appreciate you testing out our product, and we love your real life examples of how you're using it today. So where we want to go with progress tracking next. We know that there are many different ways, endless opportunities based on the current functionality, where you can see it going and how it can really fulfill that end-to-end workflow. I want to talk about in more detail today, specifically finalizing some of the end-to-end productivity tracking and what that looks like, talking more on the pre-construction side and what takeoff and estimating can enable for your workflows. And then in the future, what does 3D and BIM look like, and how can you track both in the 2D and the 3D space? So first, again, Cliff mentions in great detail how they're currently using it for phase work and quality tracking. Where we want to go from here is how do we enable more visual tracking of these different phases? And we know tracking progress of the work installed in even more detail, being able to document using photos or a form, your quality checklists, your labor tracking forms, and being able to see that work over time and how you can then ensure that the work was installed correctly and on time. From there, we want to then go and being able to show and visualize with more accuracy what is the status of visualization of your product at any time. If you can then understand the progress of your team, both in the field and the back office, that'll enable you to have more robust and accurate visualizations of anything happening on the job site. This will look like tracking the % complete of a particular object or an activity. So instead of an entire full wall, you may be able to say just a partial % of what the status is at that moment of an installation, and also being able to see the progress across different rooms, areas, floors, seeing it by a specific location at that moment in time will also enable getting you towards this future of visualizing everything on your job site. Next is really just understanding the estimation side of it. So how do you leverage your takeoff to make setup a breeze? Why start from zero when you can leverage the work that the estimating team did during the bidding process and get you a head start on setting up what you want to track on site at that moment in time? And finally, let's leverage the power of BIM. 3D progress on both being able to see what's happening and all those specific objects of installation on site and on your digital twin as well. Awesome. So to close, what progress tracking enables you to do today is keep your project up to date and getting visual tracking of your work and project status. We're really trying to streamline collaboration between the field and the back office and being able to enable accuracy to export your progress data from the web, being able to use to share to other stakeholders, owners, general contractors, or subs. Right now, we have a beta to all Autodesk Build customers to turn this on for your projects today. We'd love to invite you to join us for a Q&A session immediately following this presentation, so you can ask any questions and share what additional use cases that you could foresee the current implementation working for you and your teams. Thank you so much again, and we look forward to your questions.